So have you had an opportunity to get on machines, whether it be, CNC or manual equipment, and try and make some of that stuff actually yourselves?
We actually did not. We were discussing this with Dave, and we finally got the chance to go on a machine yesterday, but then we got busy trying to order material for what we're actually going to be machining. So we were trying to figure that out yesterday, and it took way longer than expected.
We did have a little bit of time early on working alongside some of the machine operators, just for like 20 minutes at a time, just so they could show us kind of what they're doing, inspection, putting the parts in, taking them out. So we got a little bit of a step into that, but yeah, we're hoping to get a little more before we leave here.
Yeah, it's interesting getting exposure to the actual manufacturing process as opposed to what you're creating in CAD, or it's one thing to see it on a computer screen. It's another thing to be able to actually see how it's made.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about being here, is that a lot of the time when you're making things like on AutoCAD or SolidWorks, whatever software you're using, you don't realize like how it can actually be made, or what you're making a model of is actually feasible with like machining and the tools available. So being able to go like on the floor and ask machinists, like, is this possible? What do you do for this? What would you do for this? It was really like a cool experience to see, because like it applies both ends of it.
Yeah. One of the things that we find with a lot of our clients is that they will do the same thing, that there's a design engineer who creates this amazing widget, whatever it is, right? But don't necessarily have the thought in mind of, how am I actually going to make this, or how is somebody going to make this? So when we collaborate with our clients for design for manufacturability, design for inspection, those are the sorts of things that we like to bring to the table to them to say, well, okay, do you really need this tolerance to be this tight? Do you really need this geometry to be this way? Because if we do some slight changes, we can probably save you a lot of money and make the manufacturing process much simpler. So that's definitely one of the things that you guys got exposure to that is something that we do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think in the first few weeks we were here, we were looking at some drawings for prototype parts that had changes that weren't like explicitly documented some places. So we had to go back and forth with the vendor and be like, why did you change this tolerance? Why is this radius different? And we had to discuss it with them before we actually put it into our databases.
I feel like in school we learn a lot about how to design things, but I had never really thought about before making sure that these designs are as easy to manufacture as possible. So definitely working here, we got a lot of exposure into that, to, coming up with a design and then making changes so that we could build it as easily as possible.